the littlest chef.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to the Littlest Chef. My name is Natalie, and in today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make a delicious vegan date banana bread. Now, before you click off to something else because I said vegan, you guys are probably like, vegan? Oh my God, it's going to taste nasty. No. Okay, I promise you it's going to taste good. We're going to sweeten it with dates. We're also going to sweeten it with the dates, the bananas, and we're going to use, what else to sweeten it? Applesauce. Okay, so it's going to be a delicious, no sugar added recipe. It's going to be good for you and it's going to taste very delicious. Okay, let's get started. All right, so let me bring you guys just a little bit closer. 1 second. All right, so these are our ingredients. So the first thing we're gonna do before we start mixing anything is we're gonna preheat our oven to 350 degrees and we're gonna lightly grease a pan with a little bit of butter, tiny bit of butter or vegetable oil. Because this recipe is vegan, I'm using a vegan butter. I love to use Earth Balance. All right, so for this recipe, we have 2 cups of flour. I'm actually using 1 cup of flour in the blender. We're gonna blend that together with 14 dates. In here, we have the other cup of flour. We have 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay. Here we have 3 medium bananas. You can either use 3 medium bananas or 2 regular bananas. We have walnuts for the end. I love walnuts. Some cinnamon, some almond butter. This is the butter that we're going to use to make it nice and moist. We're actually not using butter in this recipe or any other type of oil. We're just going to use almond butter, and it has a nice, really neutral flavor. Okay. All right. We also have vanilla extract. We have anise extract. We have some vegan buttermilk here, and in here I have some homemade cashew milk, 1/3 cup with 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. That's how I make a vegan buttermilk. We have a little thing of applesauce here. We're going to be using this as an egg replacement, and this is aquafaba, or actually the water from a can of chickpeas. Okay, right here I have 1/3 cup. You don't need like an exact measurement. You could just use however much water, chickpea water comes in a can, and it should be between 1/3 or maybe a little bit more than 1/3 cup. Okay. All right. So using a high-powered blender, let me move this over so you can see the blender. The first thing we're going to do is to blend the dates and the whole wheat flour. Okay. Okay, that's perfect. And you're gonna blend this until the dates basically become a powder with the flour. So come look at it. If you're using a high-powered blender, you shouldn't see any dates. It should basically like turn into a date sugar when you blend it. Remember what I said? You should only use 1 cup of dates here to blend. If you use both, 1 cup of flour to blend, because if you use both, for some reason, I think it'll have a hard time, at least in my opinion. Whenever I use the Vitamix, I have a hard time blending 2 cups of flour with the dates, so usually I just find it easier to use 1 cup. Okay. All right, so we have our date whole wheat flour mixture here. Okay, and I just like to take a look and make sure there are no clumps of dates in here. Everything is nicely ooh, wow, everything is nicely mixed. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is to mash our bananas. Okay, and this is completely up to you. You can mash them as much as you want or as little as you want. That should be good. like that. Remember guys, when you're baking, you should mix all of your wet ingredients together and all of your dry ingredients together. You should mix them separately first before you mix them together. So to the wet bananas, we're gonna add some applesauce. Okay. We're also gonna add our aquafaba mixture. Okay, and then we're also gonna add our buttermilk mixture. Okay, and we're gonna add some vanilla extract. This vanilla extract that I'm using is from Trader Joe's, but you can use any vanilla extract. And usually I just like to use a capful, or you could just use like a teaspoon or something. Okay, so I just used a little bit more than a capful. And then you're gonna take a little squirt of anise, okay? I really don't measure when I bake, but if you were to measure this, I would say do 1/8 of a teaspoon, okay? Very little, because anise is very strong and it gives a strong taste and a strong, that was probably more than 1/8 of a teaspoon. Okay, now we're gonna add 1/3 cup of almond butter. All right, so here we have our 1/3 of a cup of almond butter. We're gonna add that in to our wet mixture. Okay, and of course, if you have any nut allergies, I would use butter or canola oil, okay? All right, so now we're gonna mix our wet ingredients. Okay. That looks good. And now to this mixture, we're going to add the rest of our wheat flour date mixture. And to that, we're also gonna add a lot of cinnamon. I love cinnamon, guys. So I just go to town. I love cinnamon so much. If you want an exact measurement, I would say 1 teaspoon, okay? All right, so we mixed up our wet ingredients. Your wet ingredients should look something like this. And now we need to do the same for our dry ingredients, okay? All right, so that looks pretty good. All right, now to this, I am also gonna add some walnuts. And I love walnuts, guys. So I'm just gonna mix that in a good amount, maybe like 1/3 of a cup. And then go in again and mix that in. And last but not least, we're gonna add in the wet mixture. Very good. Remember guys, you wanna make sure with baked goods, you're not supposed to like over mix. I would add a little bit more milk, a little bit more aquafaba. Okay, we're gonna mix that up. You want your consistency to be thick, but not too thick. And we're gonna pour this mixture into our pan. All right, we're gonna tap the pan a little bit to get it in an even layer, and this is how it's gonna look. So you're gonna put this under the oven at 350 degrees. I like to do it for an hour because I like my banana bread to be nice and super crispy. But yes, just this goes in the oven and I'll show you how it looks in an hour.